Going back to your own backstory, walk us through the journey. I mean, your journey as a founder as well, and kind of Pipeshift's journey, and especially I think from a cross-border lens. I think a lot of the audience is kind of US India cross-border AI founders. Walk us through how kind of you have navigated the shift of kind of moving from India to the Valley, and then of course the last 1 year with YC and post YC.
I mean, I don't know if I followed any playbook or anything. Like, I know there are a lot, there's a lot about playbooks and how you should move, how should you make the move and stuff around that. But then we were just building in Bangalore, spent a year and a half figuring out what we want to build. Eventually realized that the maturity of the ecosystem is much higher in the way. And when we were building infrastructure, most companies in India were probably figuring out if the use case even works. Then the appetite to pay and all of those things, like I can double down on that also. We've seen a major shift in the kind of conversations we have with customers. Having said that, I think how we looked at it is that we have one shot at it. We were in Bangalore. We were like, it's not working out. There's no point being here. YC talks about increasing the surface area of success. It's like you can be like luck plays a huge role in companies, but then you can also engineer luck by just being closer to where people can get lucky. So we had some runway from early, very small round that we had done, and then we were like, uh, there's no point spending 20 months on slow burn and not doing anything and dying out. Just take all of it and just move to the Bay Area. So I just came here on a one-way ticket, trying to just understand what's working, what's not working. Because I'm like, if you have to learn it, you can't learn it on Twitter. You have to just be here and meet people and see what's happening. Because the vibe or the energy is very different of how people are building what they're looking to build. The ambitions are 10 times higher, 100 times higher. So when I came, I think, and again, when I came, didn't have any friends who were working in big tech. I was just out of college. So most of my friends were either working in India or planning a master's here. So there was no connections I had. So when I came here, I was just looking at Luma and I was just looking at all the events that are happening and being like, can I just create some kind of a network here? I had met a bunch of people in Bangalore, so like a handful of people that I came and started meeting here. They made some intros forward of just interesting people you want to meet. There was no agenda, just meet interesting people to figure out what works, what doesn't work. And then went to events, realized that most of them are a waste of time. But then after 10 events, you just know that which are the two kind of events that you should go to. So just started doubling down on it once or twice a week. That's how I ended up meeting one of my first angel investors. His name is Umar Chubukchu. He made this company called Citus Data that got acquired by Microsoft. Uh, Many people don't know about it, but that's the company that built distributed Postgres. And that's what's being used by Azure today. And then he was leading Postgres at Azure, became a YC group partner after that. And now he's building UB Cloud, which is an open source AWS alternative. Uh, Great guy. In an instant, he kind of was like, I like what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. And then he was like, why don't you apply in YC? And I was like, we have been rejected 4 times already. And he was like, let me see if I can in any way help you speak to the partners. So that happened. And in 5 days, I was in YC. That's where that whole engineer luck happens. Like, I didn't know this person. I just bumped into him. The other thing is the Bay Area is not a zero-sum mindset. I think they just want to help each other. I've seen competitors sitting and helping each other figure out GTMs because there's infinite markets to build in. Uh, and I think people are just very helpful. Like, and then now I help some of these people that some early stage founders who come and they're like, where should I stay? Who should I meet? Which kind of event should I go to? So I think it's just they keep giving forward, and I think that just is what has made Bay Area what it is today. And then after YC, I think we just kept building from there. The standard YC 3 month grind, build, ship, sell. That's all. Demo day, raised a quick demo day round, and then have been building and trying to get to PMF since then. So it's roughly been 15, 16 months of actively building out Pipeshift. been a journey, but yeah, happy to double tap on any of these pieces that have happened. But that's been the journey of moving from. And then yeah, the other thing is, uh, I might be a bit opinionated in it, but I don't believe that doing quarterly trips makes sense in today's world. If you have to move, just move. And being cross-border co-founders also becomes a problem. So move your co-founders as well, because if you have tech co-founders or technical founders, they'll learn the most of the best practices in AI just being here. So all three of us have moved. Like traditionally, usually one person moves or does quarterly trips. We're just all moved. We're like, we have to build it as a global company from day one. It is not gonna be like a company built in US, built in like you cannot build in rupees and sell in dollars. The talent pool is like in a way that you might have to just pay in euros, dollars, rupees at the same time and just hire the best talent.
Yeah, no, totally. And thank you so much for saying that. I think all of us have now made enough noise about this particular thing in the ecosystem. So I'm seeing at least now compared to even 4 5 years back, for founders realizing that the if you are really serious about building a startup in the US and especially now with AI, you got to move here, and there's no shuttling and all that is not going to work. Also, I think love that story around your angel. I think that's a classic Bay Area story of paid forward, and which actually surprisingly, I mean, I've been kind of here for now what 12 13 years, and now it is second nature to all of us, anyone who has been here for a long time, but it is still not that appreciated in ecosystems outside the Bay Area. I think people don't understand that nobody gets underestimated here. So, you can get in front of people really fast.
Yeah, I mean, in our batch, I think one great thing of that happened in YC for us, it's not the fact that we got into YC, of course, that helps. It does uh, help you in the earlier stages to create some amount of credibility. I think what we derived from YC is just ambition. The cohort in which you were there, you have PhD scientists from MIT, you have people building data centers in space, people building data centers in ocean, and when you speak to them, these are like 20, 22-year-old people who have dropped out of college and they're like, we'll build a data center. I don't know anything about networking, but I'll build it out. And they're getting funded just sheerly on ambition. Like there's infinite capital, so there's infinite scale that you can hit. Uh, there is no limitation of how much you can grow and how much you can raise, how much you can make in terms of the ecosystem. I think that's the biggest shift. So when we came, I think in those 3 months, where we wanted to be with Pipeshift versus where we were in terms of the vision that we had with Pipeshift, it just kept growing bigger and bigger. And now that I have spent a considerable amount of time here, and the kind of people I have met, these are people who are CXOs at companies like Databricks, Nutanix. You are seeing data infrastructure companies building empires here. You barely see them when you're in Bangalore. Like most that you see, again, not taking away the credibility or the work that they have done, but like you see e-commerce companies. So as a data infra company or a infrastructure company, I don't have people to look up. So when I go and look at these companies, you're just driving down the interstate and you're seeing a huge pure storage office. You're seeing Databricks office for events. You're going there and you're seeing the kind of scale that they've achieved. And that also rubs on you as a founder. You're like, this is what you can build. It's not just a company or a dev tool that you have to go ahead and struggle in scaling, compete with, and then compete for capital and all of that. Like the mindset changes. Uh, so I think that's the biggest thing that has shifted. And every founder I meet who has moved from anywhere in the world says the same thing. Is the mindset just changes if you actually stay here for long enough.